We're going spelunking. Woo!
There is no way these photos and video are going to do that thing justice.
No. Whoa. That is the coolest blue I've ever seen. Really neat. Really neat. Really neat lava tubes. Really neat crater.
What's up, Voyagers? Welcome to another episode. I'm Aiden.
What's your name?
I'm Aiden. I'm Aaron.
I'm Hayden, and we're the Vegan Voyagers. And today we're at Lava Beds National Monument in California. At the very tip top of the state, there is nothing out here. We are in the middle of nowhere, but it looks like we're gonna go do some spelunking.
Yeah, so a little bit we learned about these is that they're lava tubes that then hardened, and all of the innards basically just shot out of them. So you can kind of walk through them, and the ceilings have collapsed, so there's gonna be some cool sun ray shots. Should be a really neat place.
Yeah, it should be cool. Let's go do it.
Let's go check it out.
So we're heading into our first cave, the Mushpot Cave, which is the only lighted cave. But there's like, whoa, that's a spider. There's a whole cave loop. So like we'll drive a little bit and then get out, go walk around in a cave, come back out, do the same thing over and over again. Some of them have ladders we have to climb. Should be cool. Best part is we don't have to do a guided tour. We're just able to go all on our own. We're in the cave. There's like dripping water everywhere, and there's really cool formations on the walls here. We're looking at where like a lava tube separated and created a second one. So pretty neat, pretty neat. And there's nobody else here.
So one of the things we've learned is that these little cones and buttes that are scattered kind of all around this area are actually where the lava shot out of the ground. And depending on how quickly and the type of lava that it was, determined what shape that they were eventually formed. So there's all sorts of different kinds. There's these cones, which kind of just blew out and then slowly dripped out. And then there's supposed to be these chimneys where things just like... So very neat, very interesting. It's not just one giant mountain like you normally think of with a volcano. There's actually quite a few of them.
So one thing to note is that white nose syndrome is decimating bat colonies around the world. And so they have a lot of these blocked off actually right now in the summer months because mother bats are raising their young in there. So a lot of these caves are blocked off. But also they need to make sure that you haven't been into a cave previously, like in your shoes and everything, and you have to have them decontaminated. So luckily we're wearing shoes that we haven't already been in a cave with. So now we're at Thunderdome.
Golden Dome.
Now we're at Golden Dome, our second cave, and the ladder is very steep.
Ready for this?
So we're in this cave. It is pitch black. There's nobody in here, and they just like let you walk freely around here. But we're looking at, in this cave has really cool bacteria that grows on the ceiling, and it looks like it's gold flakes, which is pretty cool. And at one point in here, there's supposed to be like the whole ceiling is covered with it. So hopefully we can get that on camera because it's pretty neat. That was crazy.
That was wild.
That was so cool. Super cool.
There is no way these photos and video are going to do that thing justice.
No.
The level of iridescent gold and silver that our lights were creating off that bacteria, incredible.
So neat. I can't believe they just like let people wander around.
It's
pitch black. You can't see anything.
I could see with the figure eight how people would get stuck
Would
going
get
in
lost,
circles
yeah.
for a while.
Really neat. That was only the first time. I feel like we were in there for a while.
Yeah.
Next tube coming up. So we're in the Sunshine Cave, and this cave is called that because there's pockets that have fallen from the top of the tube, and so now sunlight's coming through them, which is different than what we just went through. It was just completely pitch black, like couldn't see anything. By far the coolest caves we've ever been to, hands down.
Yeah, the simple fact that we get to do it by ourselves and just really kind of go at our own pace and take photos when we want, and
there's nobody here.
They're just incredible. They're all different. Everyone we've been in has had something unique about it.
One of Aaron's big dreams in life is to carry a torch through a cave, which you can't do here, but if anybody knows where we can do that in the world, like a flame torch through a cave, let us know in the comments down below.
I would appreciate that.
Well, that was actually one of the coolest caves we've ever done. I had a really great time. I'm really glad we went and did that.
This was definitely one of the best for me as well.
Yeah.
Just awesome to kind of do it on its own. It was really, really dark in there, and just really had a good time.
Yeah, and they had such cool, the formations in there were really neat, and each cave had a little bit of a different like personality, if you will. So like one had the really cool gold bacteria, one had some like sunken ceilings, so there was a bunch of sunlight coming out of them. It was just really neat, and there was nobody there. I mean, honestly, if there was a bunch of people there, we would not have had a good time. So it's like the beginning of June. It was a Saturday. It's just in the middle of nowhere. I think it probably doesn't get that much traffic because we are just out there.
Yeah, not being a national park probably really kind of
true. Yeah, that's true.
Temper that down. If that was a national park, I bet it would have been way more popular.
You're right. Yeah. So I'm really glad we went and did that. We are now heading to Klamath Falls, which is near where we're staying, where we parked the RV, and we're gonna get some Thai food. We pulled up Happy Cow. There's not much, but there is Thai food, so we're gonna go eat some food. And then tomorrow we're gonna go to Crater Lake, so I think we'll bring you with us just in this same video. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yesterday we ended up just eating some delicious Thai food, and then we headed to the Klamath Basin Brewing Company and had a couple of drinks and went home, and we're in bed by 9 o'clock.
Asleep by 9 o'clock.
Asleep by 9 o'clock. And today we're at Crater Lake National Park. It's our 30th national park, and it's almost technically halfway. There's 61 total.
So like a lot of national parks that we visited in this general area, there's some areas that are going to be closed. Hopefully we'll be able to do a good chunk of the rim drive, which should give us a nice view of Crater Lake, because it's absolutely clear today, and that's one of the things they say is that that's not always a thing that you get. So you're supposed to be able to get a really cool reflection shot of the lake with some of the mountains in the background. So as always, that's what I'm hoping for.
Let's go check it out.
Let's
see
go.
What we can see.
To see what they could see.
Okay, so we have our first glimpse of the lake. We're walking up to it here. There's snow all over the ground. So some quick fun facts. It's the deepest lake in America, in the US. Whoa, that is the coolest blue I've ever seen.
That's insane.
Whoa. So we're just walking around the lake here, trying to find the best vantage point that we can to get a good photo. But I mean, I feel like we knew that we were just gonna pull up to this lake, be like, okay, there it is, and then we're kind of done. So there's not much going on here. We can't drive around the entire rim. It's closed. It actually should open in a couple of weeks, so it's the beginning of June now. And it says mid-June it should open up all the way, but still some things are even going to be closed through July. So it's just one of those things where, you know, we plan so far in advance that, you know, we're a couple weeks off, which is too bad, but oh well.
Can't do everything perfect.
Nope. Aaron's getting excited. We're getting to the right vantage point for the shot that he wants. The little island out there in the middle is called Wizard Island, and there's one dock on this lake. I don't know where, but you can take like a boat tour in the summer months when everything's open, or you can hike down. There's trails that go down to the water, and you can even swim in there. I would assume it's freezing because it's basically just melted snow, but you can swim. And yeah, I mean, just really the coolest part about this is the color of blue. It's really wild. But it's also really wild that it's June and there's snow everywhere. I feel like we've been in winter for like 10 months. Alright, it's a little windy up here, but we went back to the visitor center to watch the informative video that we missed earlier because Aaron wanted to get some shots before the sun got too far overhead. So we learned that the crater itself is actually called a caldera. It's a volcano that erupted 7,700 years ago, but it erupted along the base of it. And so what happened was, as it erupted, all of the center of the volcano actually got dispersed and sunk, and it created this like big caldera, or like a crater. It looks like a crater, and over time all the rainwater and the snowmelt started to fall into it. And it actually happened during human history. So the Klamath Native American tribe have eyewitness accounts of the volcano actually erupting, and it's actually a very recent historical event in terms of geology. 7,700 years ago isn't that long.
We also learned, which ties into some of the things we learned at the Lava Tubes National Monument, is that Wizard Island is actually one of those cones.
Yeah.
So it's actually kind of like a portal of the actual volcano, and there's certain areas in this national park where you can actually look down, and they were saying you can see like the pipes of the volcano frozen in time, which,
yeah,
that's fantastic. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, and they call it a drowned volcano, so I believe it's no longer active.
Right, yeah, I think the
it all
chamber
filled
collapsed
in with water. And it also has the most pristine water in the world. So there's no contaminants, there's no pollutants. It's so crystal clear and pure. It's the purest water you can find in the world.
Yeah, it holds the world record for depth of clarity. And I can't remember the little test of the disc that they use, but it's this disc that they drop in, and when they can no longer see it, they measure the depth, and it's 143 feet is the world record.
Because it's so clear at the bottom of the lake, people can scuba dive down there, and there's moss and there's a lot of like animal life because of the sun can reach all the way to the bottom. It creates like a really intense ecosystem down there. So there's like a lot of moss. I wonder if like the lava vents have anything to do with it, if there's still like hot water coming out down there. I don't know.
I would think if it's inactive, there probably isn't, but that's probably why it's such an active ecosystem, because of all the bacteria.
All the bacteria, all the nutrients that come up from like a thermal waters. Really, really, really cool. In this video, we've seen two of the most unique volcanoes we've ever seen, neither of which look like a volcano. So the one from the Lava Beds National Monument are these little cones, and they spread out over 500 of them, and so they're like volcanic mounds. And Crater Lake was an old volcano that erupted and collapsed in on itself. So really unique, really neat. Really neat. Really neat lava tubes. Really elite crater.
Neat.
Neato.
Neato burrito.
Look at that blue water. That's wild.
Insane.
So I think we're done here. Unless anything super exciting happens, this is the end of this video. We hope you enjoyed our time exploring some of these really unique volcanic features in Northern California and Southern Oregon. And we will see you next time.
See ya.